Supercritical fluid chromatography. So the learning objectives of this module is to describe the principles of supercritical fluid chromatography and supercritical fluid extraction. Okay? Explain the advantages of working with supercritical fluid chromatography and identify the instrumentation for SFC and SFE, and to evaluate the applications of SFC and SFE in analytical samples. Okay, so when we're talking about supercritical fluid extraction, this is just where the mobile phase is a supercritical fluid. Okay, and to understand on the basic components of the supercritical fluid chromatograph, I would suggest you watch this video. Okay, now we go first to the definition of the supercritical fluid. So SFC, we could say, is a hybrid of the GC and the LC that combines some of the best features of both. And SFC uses this supercritical fluid as the mobile phase. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a supercritical fluid is. Maybe during your Gen Chem, when you discuss the phase diagram, we encountered there some portion where we have the supercritical pressure and supercritical temperature. So supercritical fluid exists at temperatures and pressure about its critical temperature and pressure, and have densities, viscosities, and other properties that are intermediate between those of the substance in its gaseous and liquid state. So if you're going to look at the density, so usually for gas, it's grams over ml. For liquid, it's for gas, it's gram per over liter. And for liquid, it's grams over ml. Now, if you're going to look at the supercritical fluid, it's a little bit, we could say, lower than the one that we have in liquid phase. Now, in terms of diffusion coefficient, okay, the supercritical fluid has lower value compared to the liquid, okay, and much more the gas. In terms of viscosity, we could say it's most comparable with the gas compared with the liquid. So I think this is where we get the best features of both sides, okay? So it has a density and the diffusion similar to the liquid, but a viscosity that is similar to the gas. So if you're going to look at the important properties of this supercritical fluid, as I told you, the first encounter that you have in this term was during your phase diagram, where you have the supercritical, the critical temperature and the critical pressure, okay? So during this time, you cannot distinguish if it's what we call a liquid or a gas. Even if you apply higher pressure, it will not liquefy into what we call from gas to liquid. Now, if you're going to look at the supercritical fluid, they dissolve large non-volatile molecules. The commonly used supercritical fluid is carbon dioxide. It can dissolve N-alkanes containing over 30 carbon atoms, okay? And supercritical fluids, they dissolve analytes that are easily recovered. I don't know if you know the principle behind this decaf coffee. You're removing the caffeine out of these coffee beans. So usually they don't do liquid extraction. What they do is a supercritical fluid extraction. Because if they do liquid extraction, what do you think the solvent that they use? They're going to use organic solvent. So ask yourself, are you going to drink coffee when you know that there's some organic solvent that passed through it to remove your caffeine? Okay. So the supercritical fluids equilibrate with the atmosphere at relatively low temperatures The analyte in your supercritical carbon dioxide can be recovered by reducing the pressure and allowing the carbon dioxide to evaporate. There's no need for organic solvent. Hence, we could say the SFC extraction are environmentally friendly, as the one example I gave you. It's inexpensive, innocuous, and non-toxic. So if you have CO2, which is a lot of us around here, okay, we can have a good supercritical fluid extraction. Now, the higher diffusion coefficient and lower viscosities relative to the liquids results in faster and higher resolution separations, as I've discussed earlier. It gets the best of both features, the best features of both the liquid and the gas chromatography. So carbon dioxide is the most common supercritical fluid. And as you could see, its critical temperature is just around room temperature. And it's just a relatively low critical pressure. But there are others, what we call solvents, that can serve as mobile phase for supercritical fluid extraction. They have ammonia, ethane, diethyl ether, and tetrahydrofuran. But CO2, I think, is the one that is commonly available. So SFC, CO2 is commonly available because, as I've told you, it has low critical temperature and pressure, leading to simple instrumentation. And at that conditions, there's really no degradation of the analyte. Another thing, it has a good miscibility with most polar materials like alcohol and acetonitrile, and a polar material like toluene and hexane, organic solvent. It is low toxicity, odorless, non-inflammable, and non-corrosive. It's easily available in large quantity at high quality. You can get 99.999% at a low price. And the UV transparent down to 190 degrees Celsius for the pure CO2. Okay. You can also utilize 195, 205, and 210 nanometer when mixed with acetonitrile, methanol, and ethanol, respectively. Okay. Now, what's the advantages of SFC over GC? Well, it's able to analyze many solutes with no derivatization, since there's no need to convert most polar group into non-polar ones. Remember the issue that we have with GC, if you have non-volatile substance, okay, you have to derivatize this one. But with the SFC, you don't need to do that. Okay? There's no need to convert most polar groups into non-polar ones through derivatization. You can analyze thermally labile compounds more easily. With higher resolutions, it can provide faster analysis at lower temperature. You can also analyze solute with higher molecular weight due to their greater solubilizing power. So that's the advantages of SFC over GC. Now, advantages of SFC over HPLC, since it has since it has low viscosity of the supercritical fluid, you can analyze it faster. Okay. And the low viscosity also means that there's much lower pressure drop across the column. And with that, you can use the open tubular column. Okay. And also due to the high diffusivity of the supercritical fluid, you can use shorter column lengths, like 10 to 20 meters for SFC versus the 15 to 60 meters for HPLC. The resolving power is also higher, 5 times more than the HPLC. The only disadvantage of the SFC is cannot analyze extremely polar solutes, and this is due to the relatively non-polar mobile phase that you use, which is your CO2. Now, if you're going to look at the instrumentation of SFC, it's very similar to HPLC. Since the temperature and pressure requirements for supercritical fluids fall within the standard operation. Okay, so the two major differences that you have here, okay, is you have a thermostated column oven. Since precise temperature control of your mobile phase, typically the supercritical CO2 is needed. And then there's a restrictor or back pressure device required to maintain the desired pressure in column pressure change and to convert from supercritical fluid to a gas for transfer to detector. Okay, so it's just similar to what we call the HPLC equipment that you have. There's a column that you have, there's a sample injector, you have a syringe pump. So you have some sort of a monoprocessor control, okay? And then you have the recorder and stop that is similar to HPLC. I think the video shows the diagram of the of the SFC. Okay. Now, in terms of the supercritical fluid extraction (SFE), so we look at the advantages of the supercritical fluid solvent. It has low viscosity and high diffusivity. Thus, the component to be extracted can pass through the mobile phase easily. An extraction process can take just what, 10 to 60 minutes with SFE, while it would take hours or even days with classical methods. Okay, when you say classical methods, you have a solid sample, you soak it in a liquid solvent, so sometimes it would take days. Okay, but in SFE, it's just 10 to 60 seconds. I think the best example that I can give here that has everyday application is the dry cleaning stuff. So when you do dry cleaning, you don't use water. What you use is a perchloroethylene or perc that dissolve the dirt that you have in your clothes. Okay, and the principle behind there, you just put your clothes in front of this supercritical fluid, and when it passes through your clothes, it dissolves the dirt that you have there. So the dissolving efficiency of a supercritical fluid can be altered by temperature and pressure. SFE has the potential to be optimized to provide a better dissolving capacity. They are using this method now because it is environmentally friendly, environmentally chemically inert, harmless, and inexpensive. And I would suggest you watch the video here in this link to tell you more about the supercritical fluid extraction. Now, in terms of the instrumentation of this supercritical fluid extraction, there are two principal modes to run the instrument. One is the dynamic extraction, during which the extraction process, the second pump sending the materials out to the collection is always open. Okay, so you have the supercritical fluid source, which is your CO2. You inject your sample, pass through the pump, then the extraction cell, okay? And then it passes through the pump, and then you collect it. So the mobile phase reaches the extraction cell and the extract components in order to take them out consistently. Now, the other one is the static. So there are two distinct steps in the process. First, the mobile phase fills the extraction cells and interacts with the sample. And then what happened? The second pump is open and the extracted substance are taken out at once. Okay? So the application of SFE, there's a lot. Polymers, oils and lipids, carbohydrates, pesticides, organic pollutants, volatile toxins, PAH, biomolecules, foods, flavors, pharmaceuticals, metabolites, explosives, and organometallic are the one that is used to extract this material. SFE is used to extract these materials. So it is commonly available now, pharmaceutical and biochemical industry, polymer industry, industrial synthesis and extraction, natural product chemistry, and the food industry. I think they try to utilize this in food industry. This is a better alternative to the one that I have at my own lab, which is the pressure liquid extraction. Now, to look further at the resources about this SFC and SFE, you can look at these different resources that you have. Okay. So again, just like the other one, there might be quiz or problem set, or I will just incorporate it with the other part of the chromatography module. Okay.